To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the nomadic lifestyle, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. I was watching a video the other day. This couple, they travel around their nomads. They were at a city park. It was during the day. It didn't appear they were doing anything wrong or violating any rules. But the police officers came, and there were several of them, and wanted to know what they were doing there. Now, before I get started, I wanted to say that the guy, the nomad, handled it very well. He was polite, respectful, gave out his information, did everything he was asked, and as a result, the police became very respectful, and everybody was respectful. The police left and said, okay, be out of here by sunset, when the rules say that you have to leave. But the police did inform them that they were aware that the nomads had been in several of the city parks in the area. There was two things I noticed about him when he came back in the camper. One, he was just blown away that the police actually knew that they had been traveling around the area and staying in city parks. And the second thing that I noticed was he was nervous as all get up. All that endorphins and adrenaline and everything's all pumping through your veins, and you just can't catch your breath. And I know the feeling. I don't like being questioned by the authorities. Most of the authorities nowadays are much younger than me, and I still am somewhat nervous around them. Is there a rule that I don't know about that I'm breaking? Am I going to get a ticket? How much is this going to cost me? Am I going to jail? All these things race through your mind, and as a result, the adrenaline gets going. There's just no way to avoid it. I try to avoid police are being called on me. I want to address him being surprised that the police knew that they've been around. Of course they know you're around. That's their job. They're supposed to know that you're there. This guy's camper is not like the most discreet thing in the world. I live in this big old box. I drive down the street and I get messages, hey, I saw you on the I-10. Great camper. People pay attention. I know there's this nomad who says, nobody's paying attention to you. Don't worry about it. You just go out there and live on the streets. That's just not the reality. They are watching. It's their job to know what's going on in the neighborhood. And when they finally get a complaint, in this case, the park manager or park maintenance person called the police and said, hey, there's this camper staying in this park. Now, the second part is he was very nervous. He was questioned. Now, this couple is questioned a lot by the police. They're told to leave a lot, and I feel bad for them. There's this mentality that this is my right. I have a right to live in my van wherever I want to. You may have the right, but they also have the right to push back. Here's what I see. I see van dwellers pushing against society. I'm going to live my life the way I want to. I have a constitutional right to do it. And I've heard this. I have a constitutional right to live in my van. I pay taxes, and I'm going to live in my van. And they are going to have to accept it. They being the people living in stick and bricks. Well, here's the thing that I think the van dwellers who are saying, I have a constitutional right, is the folks who live in stick and bricks have a constitutional right also. What the politicians are looking for is who's going to vote them back into office. And so when the people in the stick and bricks have outnumbered you 1,000 to 1, the van dweller is going to lose, folks. We're going to lose. We're going to lose this fight. And the thing is there doesn't have to be a fight. The people that are picking the fight are the people living in the van. I see it. The people who are living in the house just want to be left alone. Get off my street. Leave me alone. No, I'm going to stay here, and it's my fight because I'm fighting the man. I don't like these high rent costs. I don't like this telling me what to do. I'm going to go do what I want to do, and you're not going to tell me any different. And I heard it in my own comments. The war is on. I hear that kind of stuff all the time. The war is on. The van dwellers, we have declared war on people who have been doing the stick and brick thing for a millennia, forever. And so when the stick and brick people who you have declared war on decide, wait a minute, no, we're going to push back. We're going to call the police. And the police come out and they do their job. And what does the van dwellers do? Well, how dare they come out and question me? That's just not right. I have a right to live on the street. Yes, okay, you have a right. But they have a right to ask you questions to make sure that you are not doing anything illegal. And it seems to just elude van dwellers. Wow, really? Well, this is real simple. I've only been questioned a few times. by law enforcement. And when I say law enforcement, rangers and or police. And the first time was we were staying on a street in Missouri in front of Carolyn's daughter's house. And the neighbor did not like that we were out there. But here's the thing. I'd already upset the neighbor. Not the police officer, the neighbor. The neighbor didn't want me there. All I had to really do was just go to the conservation area about 10 miles away and come visit my daughter during the day. Simple solution. Didn't need to escalate anything. I just needed to appease the neighbors. Now, another time that I got questioned, and it was by a ranger this time, was I was at an Army Corps of Engineers, and I read the rule book. I misread the rule book. I'll be honest. I made a mistake. And so I stayed at one campground for 6 days in the COE. Well, then I had to move to another spot in the COE. So I assumed my counter started over. So I thought it was 14 days at this campground, 14 days at this campground. I forget what it was. I think it was like, 18 days. I was there at the COE total, and the ranger came out and says, you're in clear violation of the rules. There's a 14-day stay limit. I said, yes, officer, I agree. You're right. I was there at the other one for 6 days, and I'm here, I forget what it was. And he says, no. And he pulled out his little pocket handbook rule book, and he read it to me right there. And I said, oh my goodness, I was wrong. It was 14 days for the COE. So the only time I've been harassed by the police or the rangers is when I've upset the community or I've broken a rule. If you pull up to a spot and you say, I wonder if I can stay here. If you don't know for sure, the answer probably should be no, you shouldn't stay there until you are sure that you can stay there. And if you want to stay at a city park, you go to City Hall and you say, hey, can I stay here? I've seen so many van dwellers on YouTube say, oh, I never asked permission if I can stay at Walmart. If I see other van dwellers there, I just go ahead and stay. And so the tow trucks come out and they start swooping everybody up. Well, wait a minute. Why are you towing me away? Everybody else is here. It's because you didn't ask permission. The reason you're not asking is because you're pretty sure they're going to say no. That's the reason you're not asking. So if you feel like they're going to say no and you don't want to ask, then don't stay there. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.